I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV news program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association, which is the special district association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there is a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us. The number is 970-677-4119. Or if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out more about our sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Tuesday program, which has been aired at noon, 2 and 6 p.m. This will be changing to being an evening news program, so the new times will be 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and then 9 a.m. and noon the following morning. But don't worry, it's also available on demand online at both our YouTube channel and our DC News Facebook page. This is the program for February 11th, 2020, DCTV News. From the Journal, file solar photo. The Dolores Town Board heard a proposal from Shaw Solar to install and operate solar panels on municipal buildings to reduce energy costs. 3 buildings proposed for the panels are Town Hall, the Town Public Workshop, and the Wastewater Treatment Facility. According to the proposal, Shaw Solar would buy, install, and maintain the solar panels at no cost to the town under a 25-year power purchase lease agreement, said Mike Ellis, Operations and Finance Manager for Shaw Solar. The solar power would be sold to the town at a fixed rate over the 25 years, representing an energy savings of about 3% per year. The panels are warranted for 25 years. Quote, "Our proposition is to fix your cost of energy at today's rate, so you avoid the annual Empire Electric rate increases that average about 3% per year," Ellis said. The lease system allows Shaw Solar to take advantage of a 26% federal solar tax credit and depreciation not available for municipalities. Under the leasing model, Shaw Solar has installed solar electrical power systems for Cortez Sanitation District, the city of Cortez, 2 schools in Durango, and the Bayfield Public Library. Montezuma County is also planning to install solar panels on county buildings under a lease agreement with Shaw. Quote, "We have a good track record for these types of projects. The equipment is very robust, and we have experienced staff for the maintenance," Ellis said. During the 25-year lease, the solar arrays would generate estimated energy savings of $140,000 for the sewer plant, $78,000 for the public workshop, and $17,000 for Town Hall. The buildings with the solar panels would still be tied into an Empire Electric service grid and continue to have reliable power. Solar panels would be tied to the specific facilities and operate under net metering. Solar power generated in excess is then pushed back to the Empire grid and is credited for use later. The solar project would significantly reduce energy costs of electric pumps that are continuously operating at the wastewater treatment plant, said Public Works Manager Randy McGuire. Under the lease agreement, the town would have a buyout option of the solar system in year 6 of the lease, which would further increase town energy savings. Under the buyout, the town has the option of entering into an operations and maintenance contract with Shaw or can seek a contract with another solar company. And a side note that the Southwest TV Translator Association is starting a project to install a 160 solar panel array at the headquarters in Cortez to be phased in starting this year, 2020, when the ground is dry enough. From the Colorado Sun Report, State Senator Bob Gardner, a Colorado Springs Republican, introduced a bill at the Colorado Capitol that would change the property tax assessment category for short-term rentals to commercial from residential. That would increase the taxation rate more than 4-fold from a projected 7.1% in 2022, when the bill would go into effect, to 29%. Yes, that was 7.1 to 29% change. But the thing is, the bill will likely never go into effect. Gardner said he never really intended for the measure, Senate Bill 109, to pass. The bill doesn't even have a co-sponsor in the 100-member legislature, and barring unforeseen circumstances, it appears the legislation will meet a swift death when it gets its first hearing before the Senate Finance Committee today on Tuesday. "I call this the, quote, 'now that I have your attention' bill," Gardner said. And he's definitely got everyone's attention. There are dozens of lobbyists and lobbying firms registered to work on the bill. A consortium of resort area real estate brokers have rallied at the Capitol hoping to change Gardner's mind. Headlines have appeared in Colorado Colorado's resort town newspapers about anxieties surrounding the measure. Lawmakers say their email inboxes are filled with notes from opponents of the legislation. And on Thursday, short-term rental giant HomeAway, a division of Expedia, sent an email to its thousands of short-term rental homeowners in Colorado, urging them to send feedback to Gardner and members of the Finance Committee. The email from HomeAway's VRBO, or Vacation Rental by Owner, Government Affairs team also recommended that homeowners show up at the committee hearing. Affordable housing advocates, meanwhile, see the bill as a way to discourage wealthy people from buying homes solely as rental investment properties. Some local governments are also excited about the prospect of up to $100 million more in annual tax revenue that the measure could have brought in, according to the legislative fiscal analysis. The mass response has proved that short-term rentals remain an incredibly prickly subject in Colorado, stretching beyond small-town disputes and big city policies, and that, when necessary, the might of companies like VRBO and Airbnb can be wielded quickly and effectively. In some ways, the bill has been highly successful already because the purpose of introducing the bill is to cause everyone in this equation to take notice, Gardner said. I don't really have a strong notion about how short-term rentals ought to be assessed. I just have a strong belief that we ought to do something that's consistent and equitable, and that's going to require a lot of thoughtful discussion. And speaking of small houses, the Durango Herald reported on tiny homes being a learning experience for school kids in Bayfield, with a photo by Shannon Mullane. To some, tiny homes are an affordable alternative to traditional home ownership, or their compact structure offers a more sustainable lifestyle. To others, they're just a fad. But in some La Plata County schools, tiny homes have become a tool for teaching students professional skills that they can take with them after graduation. Durango High School and Bayfield High School students have been building tiny home projects in career and technical education classes since at least 2017. While the CTE programs have built other large structures in the past, the tiny homes, entirely designed and built by students, are the most complex. Quote, "We've worked our way up to doing the tiny house," said Curtis Gillespie, CTE teacher at Bayfield High School. "All the students are so excited to work on a project like this. Their enthusiasm, it's infectious," he said. At Durango High School, students are working on a tiny home project as part of their CTE curriculum. Bayfield High School students finished their project in September of 2019, Gillespie said. The Bayfield program started with a simpler project, handmade garden sheds. Then they built a log cabin with a wood stove, but it didn't include electricity or plumbing. The tiny home required students to learn new skills and be part of every step of the process, from designing it to hammering down the for sale sign. The 200-square-foot tiny home closely matched the CTE curriculum, and it offered students an opportunity to participate in the nationally recognized Home Builders Institute pre-apprenticeship certificate training. Not only that, but the startup materials were affordable. The build site was well located at the school, and the price point of $45,000 would put more money back into the program, Gillespie said. Different classes contributed to the project over 2 years. Students designed it in the architectural design class, and they built it in the construction processes class. Through the process, they learned about framing concepts, permit and code requirements, job safety, electrical and plumbing systems, and some eco-friendly materials. And in the end, they build a functioning and up-to-code home with a bathroom, a full kitchen, loft, fire escape skylight, patio, and more. When you're building something, you have to pay attention to the details, said Braxton Nisler, a sophomore who helped finish the project. Quote, "You get hands-on experience, and that helps a lot of people with learning." It would be great to have a program like that here in Dove Creek, and then those units could be purchased locally and set out for additional income short-term rental units, if those taxes aren't too cost prohibitive. And now let's take a look at the weather for the week and into next weekend. Today, 30% chance for scattered snow showers, possible but unlikely looking out the window. That goes for just the morning hours, then mostly cloudy with a high near 34 for the rest of the day, with cold northwest winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, and then gradually becoming clear with a low around 16 degrees, with light north-northeast winds just around 5 miles an hour. For Wednesday, sunny with a high near 36 degrees. North winds continue to plague us throughout the week at 10 to 15 miles an hour on Wednesday, which will create a wind chill factor, bringing the high temperature down below freezing. Wednesday night, mostly clear and a low around 15 degrees. Again, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then Thursday, we catch a bit of a break from the winds, sunny with a high near 37, calm winds becoming south-southwest around 5 miles an hour, and that's in the afternoon. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 19, And warming up a bit for Valentine's Day on Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 41 degrees. Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 20. Saturday, another calm day, mostly sunny with a high near 39. Saturday night, partly cloudy and a low around 22. And then Sunday, a chance of snow showers comes back into our February winter days, partly sunny with a high near 40 degrees. Sunday night, a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 19. And for those taking a 3-day weekend, Monday, Washington's birthday, looks like a prediction for another chance for snow showers, partly sunny with a high near 34. And now, back to the news. A story on the status of hunters in our region, as reported in the Journal, with photos Jerry McBride. Crystal Egley grew up in rural Vermont, the daughter of a vegetarian, and for most of her life, terrified of firearms. She didn't grow up in a family that hunted and wouldn't know how to become a hunter even if she had an interest in learning. But when she was hired by Colorado Parks and Wildlife as a videographer, she became intrigued by the hunting conversations and conservation work happening around her. This year, Egley became the face of Colorado's, quote, My First Big Game Hunt video series, taking viewers on her journey as a hunter and covering topics such as firearm safety, how to find a mentor, learning where to hunt, and navigating the sometimes overwhelming licensing requirements. The 16-part video series is one of the department's initiatives to recruit and maintain new and experienced hunters throughout the state, said Jason Deutsch, Hunter Outreach Coordinator for Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Deutsch said that through his time at the state as the state outreach coordinator and previously as a district wildlife coordinator, he realized the hunter outreach programs tended to be geared towards one group, kids. Quote, My audience is anyone who is not currently a hunter, Deutsch said, and let's find some different avenues to have those people get involved. The number of hunters and anglers has been declining and over the past decade, which in turn decreases the budget state fish and game departments have to do conservation work with, said Marcia Brownlee, program manager of Artemis, a sportswomen's conservation organization with the National Wildlife Federation. Because state conservation efforts largely depend on the sale of hunting licenses, a lack of hunters buying licenses can create shoestring budgets for important conservation efforts, she said. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service records, hunting participation peaked in 1982 when about 17 million hunters purchased 28.3 million licenses. Since then, the numbers have declined. About 2.2 million hunters stopped participating in the sport from 2011 to 2016, according to the National Survey of Hunting, Fishing, and Wildlife Associated Recreation report. Despite the shrinking number, there's hope. Quote, even within a shrinking demographic, women hunters and anglers are growing, Brownlee said. She added it's important to continue tailoring programs to them, but groups should also, quote, incorporate women leaders and experts. While it is great that organizations are partnering to recruit more women as hunters and anglers, Brownlee said it doesn't necessarily show the whole picture. Quote, it's important to recognize that women have been hunting for centuries, she said. They've been a really important part of hunting and conservation, but haven't been talked about or had their stories held up. Egley said that while she continues to grow her own hunting expertise, she's recently taken on the role of a mentor to a new hunter. And a side note on elk hunting in Southwest Colorado, archery hunters in Southwest Colorado, they are now required to apply through the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Limited Licensing Program to obtain a license for elk hunting. The new requirement applies to game management units 70 through 75, 77 through 78, 711, 741, 751, and 771. The change was made because of concerns about the declining elk population and concerns by the hunting public that there were too many bow hunters in the field. Archery hunters will apply to hunt in a specific GMU or group of GMUs. Archery licenses will now be broken down into unit-specific limited bull, cow, and private land-only either-sex licenses. The deadline to submit an application is April 7th. All hunters may start submitting applications March 1st through the CPW website. And maybe we can get some of the video series to be aired here on DCTV. The Durango Herald reports on a new fun opportunity in town with Photo AP File. If you have a hankering for throwing axes but don't have the space to do it, a solution might be on its way. Durango Adventures and Zipline Tours is asking the city of Durango to allow for axe throwing cages at its location at 2673 U.S. Highway 160 in West Durango. The city of Durango will hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. on February 24th to consider the proposal, which would require an amendment to Durango Adventures and Zipline Tours permit. Also, the business is asking to allow year-round activities on the south end of the property. Durango Adventures and Zipline Tours declined to comment for this article. Axe throwing is an increasingly popular sport, who knew, with numerous commercial locations across the U.S. and annual competitive events. In Denver, there's an axe throwing range called Bad Axe Denver that even sells beer. And in other economic directions, Kay Jewelers closed in the Durango Mall in late January as part of a larger corporate plan to shutter storefronts. Signet Jewelers, the parent company of J Jewelers, plans to close 165 of its stores nationally and open 38 this year, said David Bouffard, a spokesman for the company. The company is targeting stores for closure in malls, according to a Business Insider letter. The closure of Kay Jewelers leaves at least 6 empty storefronts in the Durango Mall, including a prominent space in the middle of the shopping center left by Sports Authority in 2016. Shopper Sherry Libby said she's concerned for the mall. She hopes mall owners will keep rents reasonable for retail stores as more people shop online. Quote, "Our brick and mortar stores are really hurting," she said. Nationally, malls are on the decline and need to refresh their model to compete with online retailers that can offer better selections, said Jack Llewellyn, director of the Durango Chamber of Commerce. Malls need to find a unique draw for customers that are specific to individual communities, he said. For decades, malls offered people watching, and that's faded as well, he said. If there are no people to watch, it's not as much fun, he said. Those who purchased items from Kay Jewelers can take their items to the Kay Jewelers in Farmington for repairs and other services, Buford said. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. So this Friday is February 14th, Valentine's Day, and there are a ton of options in our area for things to do to share the love, whether single or a couple or a throuple or whatever. Take this one, Smooches from Pooches, that starts at 10 a.m. on Friday the 14th at the Denkai Thrift Store and Pet Adoptions. That's in Cortez on Main Street. They are having a fundraiser for their animals, puppy smooches, just in time for Valentine's Day. Come on down to the thrift store to meet these adorable puppies and get smooches for $1. Sweet treats will also be available for purchase to go towards their fundraiser. Or go home with awesome thrifty finds and possibly a new forever baby. And don't forget to find out about Coors Brewing covering the cost of adoptions throughout the month of February. Search online for all of those details. And fundraising for the love of Pick and Hoe starts this week with chance drawing tickets available to raise money for the kids and adults games for July 4th. Yes, already time to get things going for the 65th annual Pick and Hoe, led by the Dove Creek Chamber of Commerce again this year. You can purchase tickets 3 for $5 or 8 for $10. And at the end of the month, there will be a chance drawing, and the winner selected will receive 50% of the pot, the rest going towards funding for the games for this summer. And the Chamber is hosting the music this Friday at the State Line Bar and Grill, playing from 4 to 9 p.m., with random best dancers picked to receive a free box of chocolates. You can pick up your tickets there at the State Line or at the Pick and Hoe Benefit Poker Tournament, which will be February 22nd. More details on that for next week. And they will also be available at the members' DC Rack House, the State Line, Main Supply, and the Dove Creek Sinclair. Ask for Pick and Hoe 50/50 Love Dove Creek Chance Drawing. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is currently DCTV News at noon. It will be DCTV News, where you can also watch the program replay along with news links and stories of local interest, and you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you would like to share, contact us by email, dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call us at 970-677-4119. Thank you for tuning in to the news program from DCTV. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel or our DCTV News on Facebook. If you like the program, please like us and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the news program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Thank you for watching.